Welcome back to the channel. It's late December and it's unseasonably warm. See, I told you, it's really hard.
It's 11:02 a.m. Beautiful White Pine, Michigan.
We've been filming for 4 hours trying to get this shot. All right, you guys ready? Here we go.
It's unseasonably warm here in White Pine, Michigan. The crowds have gathered around for miles to see our channel.
Get in here a little closer. You're gonna be just off.
I feel like you're supposed to be right on.
Here, let's go. Let's take one step back. And does everybody feel a little better about that?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay. Welcome back to the channel. It is late December up here in the Upper Peninsula, and as you can see, it's unseasonably warm here. It's almost 40 degrees. But what's exciting is we got the crew back together. We got Zachary and Ted back. You might remember we did that 4-day Jeep body build a couple years ago. Well, we've got something exciting going on again today. So let's get inside and see what it is. All right, I'm going to introduce you to my cj3b patches. It's a 1953. If you watch the flathead run, that's the engine that we're going to put in this, a little flathead 4-cylinder. Also the body that I just put the floors in, that's the body that's going on this. So that is the Jeep I brought. Ted, what did you bring? So Ted, what happened?
Okay, so we spent the week getting the Jeep ready to go. We put new brakes, new brake lines. We got it all, everything buttoned up as much as we possibly could to come this way. We got it loaded on the trailer, and we had serious trailer issues. So we couldn't fix it. We were kind of on a timeline, so we just left the Jeep where it was. We unhooked it, and we just came anyways to help finish the other Jeep.
Okay, so Ted had a 10-hour drive to get here. So he got his list done. 10 hours, check. I went ahead and used that 10 hours while he was driving to start checking off stuff on my list. So the first thing I did is got the Jeep in, started draining all the fluids, and everything was looking pretty good until I got to the transmission. Had some water for sure in the transmission, so I decided to pop it open and inspect everything. And actually, once I got in there, everything looked pretty good, so I'm thinking it was maybe some water that got in while I was doing the power washing to get this thing cleaned up. So continued on, draining more fluids, got to the little steering box, and that also had water in it. Got a little worried about that, so I figured better open that up as well, and that looked really good once I cleaned it up. So at that point, it was time to pull out the old engine. This was the little F-head that was seized up. So we got that out of there and got the Jeep up on jack stands. So at this point, it was time to put some fluids back in. So I refilled the transmission, transfer case, did the front diff, rear diff, and repacked the steering box with some lube. Then it was time to fix up the broken leaf spring. You can see the eye was gone off from it, so I took another leaf spring that I had and just took the first 2 leaves, put it back together. That way I could hopefully maintain about the same ride height on the Jeep. So all that went back together actually really good. So we got it all buttoned up and ready to move on to the next thing, which was the brakes. So pretty much everything had to go on the old brakes. The lines, the hoses, wheel cylinders, master cylinder. What was good though was the shoes and the drums. So that made it a little easier. Got new stainless steel lines put on, cleaned everything up just a little bit to make it look decent. New hoses, new master cylinder, new wheel cylinders. So the brakes were all good and ready to be bled and tested. The stainless is just a little harder to flare, but boy, it sure does look nice. Yep. So with all hands on deck, we jumped on a whole bunch of different things all at once. Zachary right away started on that rear cross member. He got it welded into place. We even ended up using some carriage bolts to kind of help it look like the rivets that were originally on it. So that came out real nice. Ted started doing some of the brake adjustments, and I went around and greased the entire chassis. Once we were done with that, it was time to bleed the brakes, put the wheels back on. So the last little detail was getting the mounts for the cj3b radiator welded onto that front cross member. Then it was prep the engine time. How's it going, Ted?
Good.
All right, we got it back down on its wheels, and all the brakes are done, adjusted. We got really good brake pedal. We just made sure we got all of our bolts for our bell housing. Everything is good with the clutch linkage. That's all hooked up. And as you can see, we're pretty much done. So here's that little L head. Clutch is on, we're all set there. So I think we are ready to put it together. It's done. It's in. Okay, so we have the body on. We got the front bolts fixed on the frame so that we can bolt the body down. We just got to get the holes drilled, but we're going to call it a night. We figured this was a pretty good first full day. You can kind of get a look at what it looks like in there. We got to do a little bit of repair work on that accelerator pedal. So tomorrow we'll be bolting the body down, putting the fenders and everything on, and then you can see here we welded tabs in for the radiator because we're putting the L head in it. So we're going to run an actual L head radiator. So now this Jeep could kind of have either 3B or 2A radiators. So that's it.
Becker, what are you doing?
He's the happiest boy ever. He was on the couch all snoozing.
What? Some dessert pizza. Oh, we got more pizzas going in.
Oh yeah.
Good job, wife.
Thanks.
We are still plugging away on this. We had kind of a bad day yesterday, a lot of setbacks. Here is why on some of it. We had water pump issues, and then we also had a little bit of trouble with the bell housing. I thought that I had the same one. We brought a couple other ones over just to double check. Ended up using the one that was originally on the engine, even though this one was in better shape. So lots of different things slowed us down.
So here is our grill. And as you can see, this one's got its own terrain. Pretty bent up. Perfect for modifications.
Okay, so we got the fenders loosely on, we got the grill on, got the hood on. You can see this hood, is in bad shape. And you might be wondering, why are we using a cj2 grill in a cj3b? And that is because we are going to make this a slant hood, because this hood's in rough shape anyway. I've always wanted to build a slant hood, so we are going to actually section out the hood, close the gap, and make a little slant hood. So we'll do that next.
Okay, so my thought is if we cut right on top of this impasse, down both sides, that'll allow our hood to drop where it needs to be in the front. We'll then have our location where we need to cut it here, and then we'll be able to bring this piece back in on the side and kind of cut and butt it back together.
Once we got a few good measurements off the hood, we decided exactly where we were going to make some of the initial cuts. We got the hat channel out of the way in the corners so that we wouldn't have any trouble with that rubbing on the body, and then proceeded to take the sides off.
crazy youpers.
I might have knocked the exhaust off.
Okay, so we have tacked it all together. So you can see we just sectioned a piece out of the hood, took that little emboss off. We put the little end of it back on, tacked it. We're gonna end up trimming the hood back here. And then we did the same thing on this side. Tacked it all in, got that little piece in there. Again, we need to do a little bit of trimming here, and there's some hat channel in there we gotta get straightened out. But we also got this bench seat, so you know what that means. It's time to go before it gets too dark outside. Let's go for a ride. Just ran her out of gas. Oh, maybe the battery? Something happened.
Maybe this thing came up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, is it in gear?
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah, but it might be.
Oh, wait. Oh.
No, we didn't tighten anything. All right, clamp her back down. That's all. That's all it was. Just one small mistake. Wait, you would have put a zip screw to hold these seats. Yep.
Are you ready?
Yep. She's a runner.
That's probably the only good Jeep brakes I've ever felt.
Now it's out of gas, yep. All right, that's as far as we're going with this on this particular video, guys. Please check back in. We're going to be doing more to this. Ted and Zachary got a 600-mile trip to go back home, so we're going to go home and try to enjoy one evening together. We put a lot of time into it, a lot of little stupid stuff that threw us off as I showed you some of the stuff in the video. So thank you to these guys for coming. Thank you for you to watch, and we'll see you real soon with the cj3b aerodynamic. I don't know. It still patches to me.
That was great.
That was perfect.
That was perfect.
That's a nice shirt.
Yeah, this is one of the fragrant